Call it controversial, but villains are the cornerstone of every cinematic universe. Think about it. Peter Parker wouldn't have become Spider-Man if the Green Goblin hadn't pushed him to his limits. And Tony Stark's emotional sacrifice in Endgame wouldn't have hit nearly as hard without the looming threat of Thanos. Heroes might carry the story, but villains? They give it meaning. They're the reflection that tests the hero's resolve and makes their journey matter. The MCU has given us a long list of unforgettable villains, from Loki's charm and Thanos' terrifying philosophy to the raw menace of Wilson Fisk. But it's also given us a few that left fans scratching their heads or rolling their eyes. Looking at you, Taskmaster and Kang. So why do some villains work so perfectly while others fail miserably? That's what we're breaking down today. The most loved and most hated villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And just to be clear, we're sticking strictly to the MCU. So sorry, Magneto and Doctor Doom fans, your turn will come later. Okay, let's go. It's poetic that the most loved villain in the MCU is also the one responsible for wiping out half the universe and making us cry. That's the genius of Thanos. When he first appeared in the Avengers' post-credits scene, most fans didn't think much of him, except for the comic readers who knew this purple alien was about to cause serious chaos. But by Infinity War, everyone knew exactly how dangerous and fascinating he was. Fans didn't fall in love with Thanos because of his raw power, though watching him demolish Hulk like a toy was jaw-dropping. They admired him because his ideology, as twisted as it was, made sense. He wasn't a mindless destroyer. He was a believer, a monster with logic. He's a real, compelling character with an actual personality. Too many villains are just, I'm mad, I want to kill everything for no reason, and I will never change at all. Josh Brolin's performance sealed the deal. His calm, his voice, his expressions, every line carried weight. What could have been cartoonish became Shakespearean. You could feel the tragedy behind his madness. The Russo brothers also made the brilliant choice to center Infinity War around Thanos' perspective. The film wasn't just about the heroes, it belonged to him. He wasn't treated like a villain, but as the protagonist of his own warped story. That's why Thanos worked so flawlessly. His purpose was clear, his philosophy was terrifyingly rational, and his execution was flawless. Fans didn't hate him, they respected him, and that's the rarest quality any movie villain can achieve. Next up, the god, the myth, the mischief, Loki. From the moment Tom Hiddleston appeared in Thor, Loki was different. Insecure, witty, tragic, yet irresistible. He wasn't just another bad guy. He was a Shakespearean prince trapped in a comic book world. And by the Avengers, he'd become the perfect antagonist. Grand speeches, venomous charm, and just enough narcissism to make us love him while hating him. But Loki's real magic lies in his evolution. He didn't just survive multiple deaths, he grew through them. Betrayal, grief, and loss reshaped him. Through it all, he transformed from a scheming villain into one of Marvel's most complex anti-heroes. One fan summed it up beautifully. Loki saw himself as destined to rule Asgard as its king, enjoying the trappings of power, but he ended up sitting alone, a watchman over the flow of all the time streams, which allows others to pursue their destinies. Powerful, yes, but the ultimate position of service to the multiverse. Loki represents everything the MCU rarely nails. A villain as compelling without his powers as he is with them. Even when stripped of magic, he commands the screen with nothing but charisma. He's proof that the best villains don't need to rule the world to rule the story. Wilson Fisk is terrifying for one reason. He's real. No superpowers, no alien army, just brute force, control, and a chilling sense of calm. When Vincent D'Onofrio first appeared as Kingpin in Daredevil, he redefined grounded villainy in the MCU. In a universe full of gods and cosmic chaos, Fisk reminded us how terrifying a single man could be. Fisk believes he's the savior of Hell's Kitchen, rebuilding it through charity and violence in equal measure. He's not not evil for evil's sake. He's rational in his own twisted logic, convinced his brutality is the only way to bring peace. D'Onofrio plays him like a ticking time bomb. You feel tension in every word. When he smashes a man's head in a car door, it's not the act that's horrifying, it's the calm before it. Vincent is so passionate about Kingpin, I doubt any other actor wanted their character as much. I mean, even Charlie admitted he tried to ask Vincent to let go of Daredevil revival, yet Vincent insisted on it, and now we have Daredevil in the MCU. That passion translates on screen. Fisk's love for Vanessa, his quiet insecurities, and his explosive rage make him feel painfully human. He's not a monster pretending to be a man. He's a man who became a monster trying to do good. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest disappointments in recent MCU history, Kang the Conqueror. When Marvel teased him as the next Thanos-level threat in Loki, fans were ecstatic. Finally, a multiversal villain with real cosmic weight. And Jonathan Majors' eerie, unpredictable He Who Remains gave fans hope. But what came next? A multiverse of confusion. Kang was meant to be unstoppable. Instead, he was underwhelming. His motives were vague, his presence inconsistent, and his defeat at the hands of Ant-Man and a swarm of ants became an online meme. One fan said, "I think so too." It would build Kang up in a show-don't-tell sense and help fans actually understand what he is capable of at full power. He's depowered in the quantum realm, so that action sequence like Wanda in MOM could establish how Ant-Man was able to beat him in that weakened state. The real issue wasn't Kang's power, it was his lack of identity. Fans don't love villains because they're strong. They love them because they're understandable. He Who Remains had purpose and logic. Later versions of Kang, just filler, disposable threats without emotional pull. Marvel tried to build another Thanos, but forgot to give him a soul. Taskmaster's failure is a case study in how to ruin a promising character. In the comics, Taskmaster is iconic, a skilled mercenary who can replicate any hero's fighting style in real time, a villain with swagger, danger, and personality. When fans heard Taskmaster was coming to Black Widow, expectations skyrocketed, but instead, they got silence. The movies reveal that Taskmaster was Antonia Dreykov, a brainwashed victim of the Red Room, had potential for tragedy, but no real payoff. The character became a tool, not a person. Her scenes were visually sharp, but emotionally empty. Fans expected menace and charisma. What they got was mystery without meaning. And even when Thunderbolts came around, it was too late. Taskmaster faded into obscurity, becoming one of Marvel's most forgettable villains. Then there's John Walker, the government's replacement for Captain America in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Wyatt Russell played him perfectly. Proud, insecure, desperate to be respected, and fans hated him. But not in the love-to-hate him way, in the please get him off my screen way. He was introduced as America's new hero before earning it, and that instantly turned the audience against him. A few reasons. He was given the title of Captain America way too easily, doesn't have the bearing or leadership skills of Captain, ended up being an arrogant douche, and seemed to think he was better than Cap from the jump. Hello, you didn't fight Thanos. The show couldn't decide what it wanted Walker to be, an anti-hero, a tragic soldier, or a dark mirror of Steve Rogers. Instead, he became none of them. Even his most powerful moment, killing a flag smasher with Captain America's shield, was wasted with clumsy pacing and weak follow-up. Fans didn't love to hate him, they just hated him. Villains define the MCU as much as heroes do. Characters like Thanos, Loki, and Wilson Fisk thrive because they have purpose, depth, and humanity. They're terrifying because we understand them. Meanwhile, characters like Kang, Taskmaster, and John Walker fail because they lack that emotional core. Their motivations are thin, their arcs rushed, and their impact forgettable. The lesson? Power doesn't make a villain great. Clarity and conviction do. So, which Marvel villain do you love the most? And which one makes you groan every time they appear? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear where you stand. And as always, hit the like button, subscribe to Silver Screen Hero, and check out the next video here.